I love films that are rooted in truth and that can be inspirational. And Naomi, let's start with you. You know, your character goes through this life-altering injury, but ironically, it's this magpie that kind of helps her renew her sense of, purpose and gives her responsibility. Talk to me about what it was like, entering the mindset of this woman.
Well, Sam could not have been more generous and open, and we kind of, explored every corner of her life, and her family members, her friends. She was an open book, and yeah, it was important to unpack all of it. She presents herself as a very light person. She's very upbeat, she's got energy, but she's quite shy, and you couldn't imagine, based on meeting her now, what she was going through, because she's so brave and so resilient. And that's a story worth telling when you know what they've gone through, physically and mentally. And her state of mind was, she was living a private hell, very, very much alone, very isolated, and basically wanting to end it. And she, through the magic of this bird and the restoring of this little creature from nature, she was able to escape herself and just focus on restoring this bird. And somehow in doing so, she was able to restore herself.
Andrew, I love that we see the family aspect to it, because, it's so relatable in a sense, like anything that affects a family, whether it be cancer, whether it be a job promotion, positive or good, it ripples out. And so of course, Cameron and the kids are going to be affected, and this changes their lives too. So talk to me a little bit about that aspect of it.
Yeah, I love the book. It's based on a beautiful book. Cam is a photographer and a beautiful wildlife and portrait photographer, and so he chronicled the rehabilitation of this bird and also his wife, and then they published it almost like a poem, and it's a beautiful book that we actually had before I even read the script. I even knew about the script. So when I read the script, I went, I just want to be part of this story, because it is ultimately a love story, and it's and this is a sort of in sickness and in health. This is the in sickness bit, and it is about these two soulmates and how they're able to navigate this extraordinary, traumatic, life-changing event. But the other thing that I love as well is nature and animals. And there's something so primal about a bird's face. Then they are, you look into their eyes, they're not domesticated creatures. And that's what I loved about the real Bloom family. Are wild, they're wild people. They travel a lot. They do, they see, I just identified with them, and so to mirror this in film, I think that Sam seeing the wild comes in and then pulls them all back out into the wild in a new way, I thought was beautiful.
Physically, as an actor, I mean, being in a wheelchair for the majority of the shoot, acting opposite a bird, I mean, just the strength to move around and to make that look real. I mean, taxing, like what did that look like day in, day out?
Definitely hard, because it's very, it's your lower part of your body is just where my whole body is connected. It all works. And so to try and shut parts of it off, it sounds right in your head, it sounds easy, but it doesn't work that way, especially when gravity is involved. So doing those transfers from bed to chair, or the other way around, it was really difficult. And even when Andrew was lifting me, you help the lift naturally. So it was quite a difficult thing to wrap my head around. And it was really helpful having Sam there, who was giving us feedback directly and saying, no, you got to do this, you got to do that. She also gave us lots of video footage of, doing the whole transfer in slow motion. It was lucky to have her there for that reason.